Hey guys, what's up? We are back with another video today, and today we are doing my Minnesota preview and prediction. So as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Help me reach 600 subscribers for the end of the summer. I'm about 80 away from my goal, so help me reach that goal by hitting that subscribe button down below. Like this video if you enjoy it. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about where Minnesota football is at and where do you think they should be as we continue on this path closer to college football now that we are in July. So make sure that you leave your comments below. Share this video with your friends and family. Many of my college football previews don't get much more than 30 or 40 views, if that. So make sure you share them with your friends and family. Get them to comment what they think below. Like or dislike, whatever you think. Whether you think they'll do better or whether you think they'll do worse. I like the interaction and it helps this video reach more and more Minnesota fans. So let's get started with today's video. So Minnesota starts their season off against the New Mexico State Aggies. This should not be much of a problem for PJ Fleck and crew, as many of them don't have much of an issue with this team. I don't see an issue at all. They should get a win here. Then you have the Western Illinois Leathernecks. This is an FCS team. It's one of the worst in the Missouri Valley. I'm an Illinois State fan personally in the Missouri Valley. And they're one of the worst programs in the Missouri Valley. This should be an easy win here. Then you have one of your toughest opponents so far, and that's Colorado Buffaloes, but they're not even that good in the Pac-12. So I have them getting another W there. Then you have the road game against the Michigan State Spartans. This is where the first test kind of comes, where PJ Fleck and crew have to meet where rubber meets the road, and you have to win these types of games if you want to have a successful type of season. And that's something that PJ Fleck has struggled with the past 2 years since the 2019 season, in which he beat Penn State at home, in which he really got Minnesota to national relevance, really rowing the boat per se. But I think that this is a loss. I think that even though I like PJ Fleck as a coach, I think he is a good head coach, and I think he is going to lead Minnesota to some success. I don't know how much success that is going to be. And with this game being on the road, being at Michigan State, with the new quarterback, with no Tanner Morgan, I think that you're starting to realize that maybe this isn't going to be your year. But this is where I think it kind of starts to turn around. You have a home game against Purdue, against the Boilermakers. I think that this is a win. Though I think Purdue is the more talented team, with this game being a home game, coming off a tough loss against Michigan State, I think they'll be able to get the win as they head into their bye week, and then they head to Illinois on the road. I think that you get a win here. I think that Brett Bielema is building something and being semi-successful at Illinois. I think he is going to be a good coach, the same way that he was at Wisconsin before he left to go to Arkansas. I think that you're able to get a win here, though, if you're Minnesota, just for the simple fact that even though Brett Bielema, I think, is building something, I don't think he is quite ready for that yet. Then you head to Penn State to play the Nifty Lions, and though I think James Franklin is not as good of a coach as he once was before, I think that James Franklin still has some pieces around him with Noah Cain and Sean Clifford. I think he still has enough pieces to keep him successful and to keep him on to the next position here in Big Ten play. So then you have a home game against the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers, and even I think that Greg Schiano is doing a good job at Rutgers, the same way that I think PJ Fleck is doing a good job at Minnesota. But the problem is with the Rutgers is that Noah Verdell is not a particularly good quarterback. He can't do a lot in the pass game particularly. He is a good runner. He's a good mobile quarterback, and he's a senior, so maybe he started to learn some stuff in the game with coverages and being able to put the ball in the right places, being able to use the short and intermediate to his advantage because he struggles to throw the ball much past 15 yards. But so for all those reasons, I think Minnesota is able to get their sixth win of the season and become bowl eligible that early in the season with 4 weeks left to go. But then you have a road game against Cornhuskers, and even though Scott Frost went 3-9 last year and really struggled, all 9 of those losses were by one possession, and that kind of became infamous. And I think it's a must-win year for Scott Frost. If he doesn't win, then he's fired and he's let go, and his alma mater is still in the dumps of irrelevancy. But I think that will turn around for Scott Frost a little bit. If you want to check out my Nebraska preview, it'll probably be up in the cards over here, I think. Now, I have to think about this flip. Over here at some point throughout the video, so if you want to check that out. So I think that they're going to lose this game mostly because it is in Nebraska. I think because this is a home game from Nebraska, it's a must-win game, especially later on in the season with this being November football. I think they're able to get the win. I think Minnesota takes their 3rd loss of the season. But not to be too down in the dumps, you head to Minnesota, or you head to back home in Minnesota to play with Northwestern. Northwestern, though they go up and down and they have a lot of ebbs and flows under Pat Fitzgerald, where you have a year where you win 10 games and then the very next year you win 3 games. I think that they will be more successful than they were last year, going, I think, 3-9 themselves. I think they'll win. I think they'll win this game. I think Minnesota will be able to get the win out of this. I think that PJ Fleck, again, will have them on the right track. But it heads into one of their biggest and most key matchups of the season, because if you win this game, you could be looking at a possible berth in the Big Ten Championship if you could get one more win against a couple of opponents. So you have the home game against the Iowa Hawkeyes, and I think Iowa really sucks on offense. Their offense is run by Kirk Ferentz, his son, and I think that he really struggles to come up with anything of an offense. He has an offensive identity, I'll give him that, but he lacks creativity. He doesn't have much of a passing game. His quarterbacks really struggle. They don't open up many holes. They don't use the athletic tight ends or wide receivers that they have. They aren't able to use the explosive ability of guys like Tyler Goodson. They didn't use guys like George Kittle or Noah Fant or so on and so forth, TJ Hawkinson. You had a couple guys last year and the year before that were wide receivers that were explosive. They didn't quite use, and I think Iowa will continue this trend, and Minnesota will be able to get the win. Then you head to Camp Randall to play Wisconsin for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. I think that this is a really tough game for me, but with this game being at Wisconsin, Minnesota struggles to win this game a lot. There's a lot of reasons not to choose Minnesota, and for that reason, I'm not going to choose Minnesota. Even though I'd really like to choose Minnesota to go 9-3 on the season, I think that it's more likely they pick up a game at Nebraska or at Penn State or at Michigan State rather than at Wisconsin. I think that is a hard place to win. It's not an easy place to win at Camp Randall, but I do think that it is an easier thing to win at a game at Penn State and a weaker James Franklin team, or a Mel Tucker team with no Kenneth Walker this year and maybe lost a little bit, but we'll see. So hit the playlist down below, or the videos of your choice, the video that YouTube suggests for you, and the playlist is of all of my NCAA college preview videos, so make sure you check out those. It really helps the channel out. And hit the subscribe button up here. And as always, have a great day. Bye.